how American citizens can throw a monkey wrench into the corrupt system and cut off a major hidden funding supply of money that's being stolen from the American public. Every honest, constitutionally minded citizen can find out in their small town or village whether the assets and the real estate and the bank accounts of those individuals in those towns are being used to funnel into globalist banks. And as I'm waiting online, your call screener's got me stacked up. I'm hearing a guy calling in from Dallas talking about how his aunt's estate has been looted of $9 million. When I heard that, I almost screamed through the line. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You said you wanted to talk to that guy off the air. Well, here's what we in New York found, and one of my partners is a former Vietnam intelligence officer that worked behind the lines.
All right, we'll stay there. We're going to go to break and come back and have you talk about it. Yeah. Number one, they've got the comprehensive annual financial report, the real set of books. School districts, water districts, all the money. So about 75% goes offshore. You never see it. Most of your tax money leaves directly to foreign banks on record. The small percentage that stays is just there to control people. No, I mean, we are forcing ourselves to face reality here.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now...
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been running around like a chicken with my head cut off during this break. We are saving the video right now. I am getting intense chills. If you watch this video or listen to this and don't get freaked out, then that means they've already got you. I have had nightmares about this for a decade since I learned of it from government documents that are public, of a time when they're going to release a communicable virus that attacks the key lobes of the brain, the frontal cerebral cortex, so that you can't have emotion anymore, and it attacks another side lobe that is associated with spiritual experiences. They call it the God gene. I just, during the last two segments, watched the Pentagon briefing, confirmed it's put out by the Pentagon, with Pentagon code. I separately had read this in MIT reports, but I see the military brass in the meeting talking about injecting the troops with a lobotomizer. I feel like I should stop the show and go run screaming down the street saying, they're here, body snatchers. I mean, this is that big, but it's our own species, and it's men in suits and military officers at a Pentagon briefing sitting there. Put it up on screen for folks, guys. It's DOD ID 149AZ2. These are brain scans of troops that are, quote, get back from combat. Oh, my gosh. I remember Wired Magazine saying they give them amnesic drugs when they get back from combat so they don't remember what they did, or when they serve 4 or 5 tours. Now when they burn them out with this, they give them a lobotomy shot. And they go on to admit it's a lobotomy shot. Whoa, whoa. And again, it's how they hide this high treason in plain view. They hide this where, oh, yeah, we're going to kill babies up to age 3. Yeah, we're shooting the troops up with this vaccine that lobotomizes them. It's for their own good. And the whole crew is in there with their mouths hanging open. When I made the video, brain-eating vaccines, and it only got like 300 and something thousand views. Guys, will you put up my brain-eating vaccine video that's on YouTube? Yeah, there's the right middle frontal gyrus after they've been given the vaccine. They just knock out that brain activity. Wow. And these are projects in 2005 with our troops. You have a religious brain that's A. You have the non-religious brain. You see, the key thinking centers are right there on that right frontal lobe. When they give you a lobotomy, that's what they hit. Wow. Oh, my gosh. I got nothing. And no one even cares. I'll probably be arrested because I'm not for lobotomizing everyone. I mean, it's beyond me what's going on here. And they're all over the news going, we're going to give your child a vaccine at school so they'll never want cigarettes or alcohol. What do you think cigarettes and alcohol mimic? They hit normal endorphin center receptor sites. It's a lobotomy. And they admit they've had these vaccines where there are viruses that go in. That's what this is. A live virus eats parts of your brain. And then I make a video about it, showing everybody the documents, and it's funny. That video should have 100 million views, not 300 and something thousand. And then I watched a bunch of people that were looking at my video laughing at me. You know I said I'd get back to Rick and Blue and Keith and William, everybody. But yes, all over the country, they're taking basically all the middle class's money, 70+% on average of all the money you invest locally, and all the fines and fees you pay, water district, school district, everything is taken offshore by global banking mafia using the Chicago mafia model of 1313. You don't know what that is? Look it up. I mean, yeah, that's what you got a bunch of psychos running things, okay? I mean, they put uranium and stuff in our water supply and are giving the troops, and they admit in this video, they're already giving troops this. They go, we're going to give it to the Muslims so they can't fight us. And the troops, when they come home, when they're done, we lobotomize them. And soon it'll be, you're not patriotic if you don't do it. I don't even know if I can do the show. I may just go to dead air just to signify how big this is. I mean, I cannot just report on this like it's no big deal, and then all that does is acclimate people. Thank God they didn't get me, and thank God my parents didn't vaccinate me. I had like 2 or 3 vaccines. I mean, it's stuff like the not giving your children breast milk. The formula is designed to give your child a brain that's much smaller, on record. All of it. No wonder the poor, pathetic public are brain-damaged zombies. Well, I repent for ever being mean to them. These are victims. My God, we're in a nation. They're already releasing this stuff. The autism rates are off the charts.
We're on the march. The empire.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this bunch of phone calls that are holding. I'm going to try to calm myself a little bit. And then I'm going to get to this Pentagon briefing. This is the part that's not classified. We have discovered documents online from the Pentagon that most of it is blacked out, that it is a Pentagon research project to have a virus go in and destroy areas of the brain associated with, well, the God gene. So that you can't have Muslim fanatics or Christian fanatics because they don't believe in God anymore. You don't have the higher emotions. Those are the things associated with resisting. It's also the things associated with troops that are traumatized with PTSD, so you just give them a lobotomy. Now, when I watched this video, it blew me away because everything in it I'd seen in BBC, AP, Reuters, MIT, but separate pieces. I mean, so I know what the guy's saying is real. I know this is a real Pentagon briefing. It just totally blows me away that stuff like this is going on in plain view. And then there's the Marshall program headline, because the head futurist of the Pentagon's named Marshall, but that's the headline in Wired magazine like 8 years ago about, in the future, it won't be what weapons our troops have, but what drugs they're on. And they go into it there. And that they've been testing this on the troops. I mean, they never had the troops serve more than 2 tours. Some are doing 8, 9 tours. This is destroying them. And then the answer is give them a lobotomy. And then it turns out the scientist, the gentleman that gave this presentation to the Pentagon, it turns out that Joey Lombardi, the man that is in this 2005 video at the Pentagon, it turns out he did interviews about it and said that he wasn't supposed to talk about as much of it as he did. And so they did it as a form of whistleblowing, and then he was arrested in South America last year. So, see, a caller calls in with something like this. I race down this rabbit trail, and then when I hit the information, it just totally blows me away. This isn't like going into a basement and finding 100 dead bodies. That's bad. This is knowing you're living in a giant test tube with a bunch of crazy people playing God, and I am angry about it. And we could turn this around anytime people would wake up to it, but it's just so beyond what anybody can even deal with. I don't even know what we do. Let's go back to Rick in New York. Rick, you were bringing up how you were on hold last week and didn't get on air, and the caller was talking about, and I did confirm who that caller is, from a wealthy Texas family. He's published a book about it, and talking about the big bank stealing his grandmother's money out of her investments. That's standard procedure. Standard stockbrokers are there to rob their clients. There are some moral ones out there, kind of like there are some rattlesnakes that won't bite you if you play with them. You know, there's some scorpions that won't sting you, but generally they will. So it's the exception, not the rule. It's just this system is run by predators for predators, and our own naivete is what empowers it. But tell us in a nutshell what you discovered in New York.
What we discovered in New York was that certain judges were lying on their financial forms and their ethics forms and their Board of Elections forms. Now, this can be applied to every state, every small town, every village in the United States to find out if honorable citizens' assets are being stolen and laundered out of their towns and villages. And what they have to do is to, if you have a judge or a clerk who's sworn an oath to portray correctly their assets of what they own, and they're not doing it, that's it. That's what this guy has discovered. That's what we have discovered. And how the American people can fight back is if you have a judge or a clerk that seems not to be following the Constitution, all you have to do is get his financial forms and his ethics forms and his Board of Elections forms. And what we found in New York are top judges in the state of New York lying on their financial forms, their ethics forms, and their Board of Elections.
Of course, they're all, I mean, almost all of them are total criminals. Anywhere you have all this gun control means you have criminals. Criminals don't want their prey armed.
Well,
do you think a tiger wants a deer it's hunting in the forest of India to have an AK-47?
What I understand. What we can do is drive these judges out of the system by the citizens getting
exactly, but that's what the tyranny is all about, is they know we're waking up, they're racing to tie us down.
What we can do is fight back by getting their financial forms and ethics forms and matching them with their real property holdings, okay? That's their Achilles heel. We can drive these corrupt judges out who are controlling the police departments to use the police departments against us. We can choke off one of their major funding systems.
Yeah, if the public only knew. If people think the government shipping guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment or shipping drugs into the country, that's nothing. They're involved in every racket, and they've got little special counties in every sector that engage in criminal activity with them. Like Williamson County, north of me, is one of the most evil counties in the world, not just the U.S., just a center of pure evil with people posing as conservatives, just like serial killers will wear a suit and tie. I mean, I won't even enter Williamson County, just a den of pure wickedness. And but the public's going to find out. Everybody's going to find out. Drink your uranium, your fluoride, eat your GMO, take your shots, die of cancer. Just all of it. Pure judgment. I appreciate your call. I mean, we're living in total psycho world. And the only way it's happening is good people are naive, sitting right next to the pure evil. Let's go ahead and talk to Blue in Tennessee. You're on the air, Blue.
Thank you, Alex. First, I want to throw out an idea, and then I have a comment at the end on the Zimmerman case. The idea is when you have lemons, make lemonade, and we can use this movie, The Hunting Game, as a way to expose Agenda 21 to middle school students as well as high schoolers. Because once you explain what Agenda 21 is to them, they can actually see it.
No, I agree. Look, the system thinks a movie like Hunger Games is just going to condition us to our future. When we explain the Hunger Games is Agenda 21, it's a great way to wake people up. I totally agree.